2 years. 2 whole years. And they opened with that. Like, I don't even know where to start. Because episode 1 of season 3 basically said, remember all that slow burn political chess from season 2? Yeah, that's done. Here's the bill. Pay up. So let's talk about what actually happened, why it matters, and why I genuinely wasn't okay by the time the credits rolled. Right, so heading into this, the situation on the board is actually kind of promising for Rhaenyra. Alicent, her childhood best friend turned political enemy, secretly crossed over to Dragonstone last season and basically offered to hand her King's Landing. Open the gates, surrender Aegon, end the war. Rhaenyra has her Dragonseeds now Hugh, Adam, Ulf, 3 new riders on 3 massive dragons. Daemon is winning in the Riverlands. For the first time in this entire show, he can actually see the finish line. Which, if you know anything about this show, or honestly just storytelling in general, is exactly when everything goes sideways. The episode doesn't open where you'd expect. No throne room, no battlefield. We're in the Vale, in the fog, and it's Rhaena Daemon's younger daughter trying to bond with Sheepstealer. Now, Sheepstealer is the feral one, the dragon they said can't be claimed. And the show frames this whole opening sequence almost beautifully. She climbs on, the dragon bucks and screams, they take to the sky, terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. Later, the dragon returns to her and drops a burned carcass at her feet, like a cat bringing you a dead bird. Very romantic. She's claimed him. She did it. And the show presents this as a win, this hopeful, emotional little arc, before using it to destroy you 60 minutes later. That's the writing. The bond that forms in the opening is the exact thing that causes the death in the ending. Rhaena wanted to prove herself. She got her dragon. And an untamable beast in a naval battle is not a controllable weapon, it's a chaos variable. But we'll get there. So Alicent's plan was basically, get Aemond out of King's Landing, which opens the city. Simple enough. Except Aemond didn't get the memo, or rather, he very much did get the memo and chose to ignore it completely. Because he's Aemond. He's sitting the Iron Throne when Alicent gets back. Aegon and Larys have already fled more on them in a second, and Aemond has been busy. He's got Ormond Hightower marching up with 15,000 men, and the Triarchy fleet is about to hit the Gullet. He thinks he's winning. He's insufferable about it. But here's where Alicent is actually kind of brilliant. In a desperate, terrifying way, she takes Aemond's name and sends a letter to Ormond herself, ordering him to make camp and wait. Ormond reads it, shrugs, says something to the effect of, one king's as good as another, and sits down. She has just stalled the entire Green Army using her son's own authority against him. Then she plays Aemond, tells him he should have been king, and look, she's not entirely wrong. Aemond is competent in the way that Aegon absolutely is not, and nudges him toward Harrenhal. He takes the bait. But then, the kiss. Aemond leans in and kisses his mother on the mouth and holds it there for an uncomfortable amount of time, and the entire viewing audience collectively ascended from their bodies. Like we knew this show was unhinged, but that scene of Alicent's face just going completely still, that's going to live in my brain forever. He's not just a political player at this point, he's genuinely unsettling. The moment is played less as shocking and more as quietly devastating for Alicent, which is almost worse. She got him to leave, but at what cost? Meanwhile, Aegon and Larys are crammed in a raven carriage on the run, and Aegon is demanding painkillers that they didn't bring because they fled too fast. Very on brand. When Rhaenyra's soldiers stop them on the road, Aegon refuses to kneel. He will not swear fealty in pain, in a carriage, humiliated. There's actually something almost admirable about it in the most chaotic way, like, yeah, man, read the room, but respect. Larys, though? Larys immediately drops to his knees, and then reveals who Aegon is, produces the crown as proof. His logic is cold and correct. A dead king ends a war, but a living hostage reshapes one. So now Aegon is being delivered to Dragonstone, which is not where Aemond's war effort needs the king to be. Larys is playing a game that nobody else can see all the pieces of yet. Brief but satisfying. Daemon and his forces are routing the Lannister army, and then out of the trees comes Roddy the ruined Sir Roderick Dustin, leading the Winter Wolves, the men from the north who pledged for the Blacks last season. And he throws Jason Lannister's head at Daemon's feet. Daemon picks it up and looks it dead in the face. The Golden Lord of the Westerlands, reduced to a prop. The Blacks control the Riverlands. Things are, for one brief moment, going their way. Ulf, Hugh, and Adam are sitting outside Harrenhal, waiting for Aemond Hagar to show up. They're bored, and we get this scene where Ulf starts talking about his backstory, never knew his mom. A shady priest once told him he had the blood of kings. He used that story to get free drinks for years. And now he has an actual dragon, so the rumor must be true. There's something darkly funny about that. In a world that runs on bloodline and birthright, this guy has nothing but a story someone else told him, and somehow a massive fire-breathing creature chose him. The story became real. But Ulf also clearly thinks this means he's owed something. He wants a castle, not loyalty, not service, compensation. That's going to matter. These three are not in this fight because they believe in Rhaenyra. They're mercenaries with dragons. When Alice Rivers shows up out of nowhere and tells them a naval battle is starting, Ulf, who is scared of her, immediately and hilariously suggests they leave. And they do. Instead of flying to support the fleet, they scatter. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong choice. The battle that's about to happen needed those dragons. Below deck on the flagship, before the battle starts, Corlys and Alyn share a drink. Corlys tries to apologize. He never claimed Alyn and Adam as his sons, never gave them the Valyrian name, and he knows it. He says he was fond of their mother. He tried to provide for them. Alyn accepts it without warmth. You gave me a life, but never a name. And then the alarm bells ring, and neither of them gets to finish that conversation. And that's kind of the whole show in one scene, isn't it? Nobody ever gets to finish the conversation before the war interrupts. The Triarchy arrives, led by Admiral Shirako Lohar, and the show makes it clear that Lohar is not here to win a war for the Lannisters. She is here for Corlys, 20 years of scores to settle with the Sea Snake. Her plan is to attack High Tide, the Valyrian ancestral seat, burn it down, break his spirit, then break him. Tywin Lannister warns her that the route runs close to Dragonstone. She does not care. At Dragonstone, word reaches them that the blockade is under attack. Rhaenyra moves to fly herself, but Jace, who has spent the episode being protective in a way that starts to feel controlling, has her locked inside her chambers. He tells her knight to keep her there until she comes to her senses. Rhaenyra is alone in her room, cutting fabric with a knife and crying. She says she has the heart of a king trapped in a body that this world refuses to let lead. It is a painful scene because she is right. Her own son barring her door, even with good intentions, becomes another version of every person who has ever underestimated her. Jace flies out with Bella on Moondancer. They reach the Gullet and start turning the battle. Dragonfire works. Ships are burning. The Triarchy is being pushed back. Then Rhaena arrives. Sheepstealer is untamed, barely bonded, and feral. He will not follow orders. He starts burning the wrong ships. Then he turns toward Moondancer, toward Bella, her own sister. Rhaena watches in horror as she realizes what is happening. Jace has to break away from the battle to get between the two dragons. That means he stops paying attention to the water below. Meanwhile, Corlys pulls Lohar into Dragonstone Pass, trusting her ego to get the better of her judgment. It works. She follows him. Her ship barely clears the rocks and rams into his. They fight hand to hand. Corlys stabs her, but the ships split apart before he can finish it. Alyn finds Lohar in the flooded lower deck and kills her. High Tide is burning in the distance, but Corlys survives. Jace does not make it back. Distracted by Rhaena's dragon, still trying to protect Bella, he does not see the attack coming. Vermax is struck and crashes into the water. Jace goes down with him. He breaks free from the saddle and reaches the surface. Then everything goes quiet. He looks around, confused and scared, as the battle continues around him. He is only 16 years old, and in that final moment, he just wants his mother. The scene does not use big music or dramatic speeches. It lets the silence do the damage. The camera finds him beneath the water. The light fades above him. Pieces of burned wood drift around him. Then the shot pulls up above the Gullet. Ships are damaged. The water is covered in smoke. A dragon passes through the sky. End of episode. Jace was Rhaenyra's heir, her firstborn, the one she built her future around. She already lost Lucerys. She is closer to the throne than ever. Aegon is a prisoner. Aemond is being moved away from King's Landing. The gates may still open, but the son who was supposed to sit on that throne after her is gone, and she does not know yet. When Rhaenyra finds out, something will break in her. Every decision she has made with care, strategy, and restraint will change. That restraint is going to crack. The showrunner said there is the world before the Gullet and the world after. We are now in the after. The Dragonseeds are already proving unpredictable. Rhaena's bond with Sheepstealer may be beautiful, but it just cost her stepbrother his life. The Blacks won the Battle of the Gullet and still lost something they can never get back. That is this show at its best. Nobody wins cleanly. Every victory comes with pain, and there are 7 more episodes to go. I am not emotionally prepared, and I would not have it any other way.